Like always, like to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, Ba'Shem Kwadash. Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah for giving me the spirit to do this video and put it together. And like always, we like to say too, double honors to the elders, apostles that groomed us in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. And as well, shalom and blessings to you other sincere brothers in the faith that believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. Okay, so my name is Lamadia, and the premise of this video will be on being in a state of depression. Because when you come into this faith, contrary to what people believe, things not going to get better. You're actually going to suffer, and you're actually going to be more depressed. If you find yourself being depressed when you're in the world, but when you come into faith, you're going to be more depressed. And that's some of the things we're going to undergo. Because the world we live in is depression. Everything we see is depression. We see the injustice in the world, the evil and wickedness in the world, and the fight to stay righteous, and the things we have to lose and sacrifice to maintain our integrity to the Most High. So we're going to do a lot of sacrificing. We're going to have to give up a lot just to please Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. But at the end all, the Lord's going to reward us. So let's start now with Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, beginning with 16. Now when we read Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, we understand that this is King Solomon. And even King Solomon went through a state of depression. And King Solomon had obtained everything that a man could desire. He had wealth. He had woman. He had a good name. All right. He had power. But even with all of that, King Solomon still felt depressed. He still got down that time. That's why we read Ecclesiastes, Solomon would say, vanity of vanity, all is vanity. Because even though he obtained everything, Solomon at the end all said it was all vain, meaning it was worthless. These possessions doesn't bring true happiness. All they are is just physical things, but it doesn't bring eternal happiness. So I'm going to read Ecclesiastes 2 and 16. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever. Seeing that which is now is in the days to come, shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man as the fool? So this is another statement of King Solomon saying pretty much all his works and labors he put in is vain, because he's going to put in labor and hard work. And who is information going to be passed down to? Who is riches going to be passed down to? Somebody that's a fool? A man that's lazy? And he said there's no remembrance more than a fool. Because people remember a fool more than a righteous man. Even to this day, people still talking about Tupac, Biggie, the drug dealers from Harlem, or different gangster stories, or history of different mob bosses. Niggas love talking about that. When you talk about righteous men that sacrificed their life You know, niggas don't want to know about it. You don't hear too much Jake's talking about King David, Yahweh Shah, you know, Elijah, the righteous man in the scriptures. So, verse 17, this is Solomon speaking. He said, therefore I hated life. So Solomon stated he hated life. And it reads, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. For all is vanity and vexation of spirit. So Solomon said he hated this life. And this is coming from a man that obtained everything. He had it all. But he still felt an emptiness. Now this is Isaiah 53. And I'm going to start from 1. And it reads, who have believed our report? Now, the word report, let's break it down. Now, the word port itself means to carry. Then you have the word which means back or away. So, when you collide the words together, report means to carry back. So, what are we carrying back? The information we received from the Most High. And we passing it off to other brothers so that they may obtain it, which is these scriptures. So it says, who have believed our report? What's the report? These scriptures. And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Because the scripture speaks about us receiving this word rather than us obtaining it on our own. That's why it says, why glory as if thou hast not received it? Meaning it was given unto us. We didn't obtain it on our own. The Lord had to reveal it unto us. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of a dry ground. He had no form, no comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. And that's referencing towards Yahweh Shah. And Yahweh Shah, he suffered and he was beaten. He was beaten badly so that Israel could receive mercy from the Most High. So if Yahweh Shah had to suffer, we had to suffer. Well, we're going to have to suffer. That's why Yahweh Shah mentioned the servant is not greater than his master. So if Yahweh Shah have to deal with these things, we also have to deal with it. Verse 3. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows. See that? It said Yahweh Shah was a man of sorrows. So Yahweh Shah was depressed. And it says, and acquainted with grief. And now, when you're acquainted with something, that means you're familiarized with it. So Yahweh Shah was no stranger to grief or pain or sorrow. He was very familiar with it. Like when you say somebody is your acquaintance, you're saying you're familiar with that person. Or if you're not acquainted with that person, meaning you're not familiar with that person. But in this case, it says Yahweh Shah, he was acquainted with grief. So he was very familiar with it. He was no stranger to pain. And we also have to suffer for the name of the Lord and the integrity of the word. And we hid as it was our faces from him. And he was despised and we esteemed him not. And that's going into the Israelite, the circumcision in the land. You know, a lot of Israelites then believed in Yahweh Shah. Even though they seen the works and the miracles, they still didn't believe. Now, verse 4, it says, surely he had borne our griefs. Borne means to carry. And carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of the Most High, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgression. See, that's how we know it's talking about Yahweh Shah. It says, but he was wounded for our transgression. He was buried for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. So it says, and with his stripes we are healed, meaning we are forgiven, as long as we believe in Yahweh Shah.